Gateway 97.8, it's Drive Time with Roz, and my guest is Aylin Webb, who's a psychotherapist. We've been talking about negative patterns, Aylin, which seem to start in childhood and they get set into our adult life and that send us into these negative patterns. Once we're there, how do we go about recognising them and then challenging that, doing something about it?
Well, Ross, when you are inside the frame, it's difficult to see the picture. And that's why it's really good to, when you're not feeling well, it's good to seek help. My book, Perfectly Imperfect, you will see there is patterns in front of it. There is patterns of Kintsugi. Kintsugi is a Japanese art, which is about if a pottery breaks, they repair it with glue that has got either gold or platinum or silver dust added to it, and it becomes more beautiful, which means that things can happen to you. You might feel broken. You might feel you're not good, or life events can happen to you that takes you down, and you feel that you're all alone and you're depressed. But just like Kintsugi, it doesn't mean you're broken. What you have learned out of that is a growth, and that makes you more beautiful. You can take your growth and your learning with you and project it into your future. Your past does not define your future. So
I think a lot of people feel that is the case, don't they? I mean, one of the things we try to do at Gateway, especially for young people on a Saturday, we've got a Saturday radio club for young people. They come in and they produce and make radio, and they work as a team building, and team building is confidence building for young people, and then they can go out. They don't have to do radio when they become adults, but the confidence they've built up at Gateway could be useful to them in their future lives, in their relationships, and of course in whatever career path they decide to choose.
Absolutely. So I really think that just because our ideas are built about ourselves, about the world, and about other people within the first 5 years of our lives, that those are really important. And then, of course, in your teen years, you keep learning more about yourself, and with bullies in school, and perhaps also your family may not be may be harsh, may not be supportive. So you learn about relationships, you learn about yourself, and we bring it into our adulthood. Now, most important thing you asked earlier, how do we learn to shift this? Awareness is our most important step in order to understand that, okay, I'm not feeling well, I'm feeling anxious, I feel like I'm losing it, I don't want to go out, or I don't want to see people, or I get anxious when I'm with other people, or I can't present a presentation, and so on. When we notice we are not okay, it's just good to just firstly realize what are the triggers. What is triggering us? What's making us anxious? Or what's the reason for our depression? What are the thoughts that are along with it? And who were we with? What kind of conversation were we having? So really being aware of it is the first step.
Yeah, it's such a... There's a lot involved with it. It's very complex, and I think we're going to have to talk again on the radio here about this to sort of break down some of these other topics like anxiety, just anxiety things. When I was a teenager, it all kicked off when I was a teenager, and I used to get this anxiety problem, and the anxiety used to give me stomach cramps, and I thought, I can't go out, I can't do this, I can't do that, and I think for a while I allowed that to take over, and I had to try and find a way of managing it, because I thought, now that I've got this, I'm not going to cure it. It's going to have to be managed. It's always going to be there. Now it's in my system. But I did get to manage it. It was hard. It wasn't impossible, though, dear listener. And I will say to you on the radio today is that there are ways of dealing with anxiety, depression, and perhaps, Aylin, being local, you can actually offer help.
Absolutely. They can also write to me. They can contact me. I'm always present.
How do they go about doing that?
My website is mind and mood, all written together, .co.uk. And my name is written as Aylin Webb. So if they just search me, they'll be able to find lots of information. And they are always welcome to contact me. To ask questions. I'm really happy to help. They can listen to the podcast, which is I'm a Perfectionist, Get Me Out of Here.
I love that.
The anxiety and depression I found over the 12 years that I've been doing this mostly come from the expectations that we have from ourselves and from others and from the world, how things should and must be.
And some of those are unrealistic, aren't they?
Absolutely, absolutely. And our desire to control the things that we can't.
Well, it's been smashing chatting with you this afternoon, and it's Aylin, spelled Aylin, and then Webb. Look up that name online, and of course, we'll have to do coffee in Basildon at some stage very soon again after meeting you at the Towngate Theatre last week. It was an absolute pleasure. There'll be many more Women Together events, and I'm sure that we will speak again right here on the airwaves on Gateway 97.8. Aylin, thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me.
I could have my Gucci